Where would you like... No? Should we start again?
Yes, let's start again.
Question. Where would you most like to travel to? I'd like to travel to Japan. I think it's got some amazing scenery there. Brilliant philosophies and just absolutely fantastic way of life there.
Yeah.
I think it's recording.
So that one there is, who do you think is the most inspirational world leader and why? I think I'd have to say Nelson Mandela, because he's been through a lot of hardship and suffering in his life, and he actually fought for what he needed and what he wanted to get apartheid finished, and all of the suffering and everything he went through in prison to get his voice heard is quite fantastic, really.
What do you value most about your culture and why? I value my culture because I'm Cornish, and I respect about the working life of Cornwall, which is mainly farming and things like that. That's what people think. I'm quite a Is that good?
What do you value most about your culture and why?
The accent. Cornish accent.
And why?
Unique.
It's unique.
Yeah.
It's true.
Where would you most like to live the rest of your life? Well, I have to say Cornwall. Come down here, everyone's really friendly. Compared to everywhere else I've lived, no one's as friendly, and it's just, and I have the beach. What more can you ask for, especially with a dog? Always down on the beach, always having fun. And that's it.
What one thing would you choose to represent Cornwall? Describe why.
Moors.
The moors?
There's a lot of it.
A lot of it?
Yeah.
Okay. The hoe?
It's good.
What's the weather like on the moors?
Not bad.
Not bad.
Not bad, mate.
Have you got seaside? The seaside, yeah, the beaches.
Yeah.
Where would you most like to travel to?
Greece.
Why?
Because I like Greece for the weather and people.
Who do you think is the most inspirational world leader and why? That's a hard one. Barack Obama, because he's actually doing something about the world for a change. Okay.
What do you value most about your culture and why?
I think it's because it's becoming more diverse, like as the years go on, it's becoming more diverse.
Where would you most like to live for the rest of your life? I would like to live in Hawaii because I was born there and I haven't actually lived there yet. Yeah.
What one thing would you choose to represent Cornwall?
Young farmers.
Young farmers.
Where would you most like to travel to? Describe why. I would most like to travel to New Zealand because you could be travelling for like 20 minutes and it's like sunny, and then 20 minutes down the road it's like snow, so you can do like go to the beach and go snowboarding in one day, and there's loads and loads of adventures and things to do. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, thanks.
Most of our culture is like everyone individual, isn't it? They can like all bring together what their culture is all about, which makes it all worth knowing. Like I'm from Sierra Leone, which is like West Africa. My culture is a lot different to England. So I tell people about my culture and they get to understand where I'm coming from.
What one thing would you choose to represent Cornwall? Probably choose our history, because it's a varied history with mining and with fishing, and we have a really good diverse history with us, so I think that's what I'd probably choose, our history.
Where would you most like to travel? I would love to travel to Japan, because their country is actually run properly. Oh my god, so it'd be an interesting experience.
Where would you most like to live for the rest of your life? And why?
I was born here and I'm going to die here. Cool.
Yeah, man.
Who do you think is the most inspirational world leader and why?
What's this? Ollie?
Don't like any of them.
What one thing would you choose to represent Cornwall?
It's Cornish pasties.
Who do you think is the most inspirational world leader? Probably Barack Obama. I don't know, maybe because he's the first black president, male president.
Like, where would you most like to live for the rest of your life, and describe why?
In South Africa with all the wild elephants.
What do you value most about your culture and why?
I think I value the stiff politeness of British people.
What one thing would you choose to represent Cornwall and describe why? A pasty, because they're really nice, and the shape.
The shape? What is it about the shape that you like?
Because they're for miners. To hold on, the crimpy bit. So you don't get dirt on your pasty.
Where would you most like to live for the rest of your life, and describe why?
America, for the music and dance.
What one thing would you choose to represent Cornwall and why?
Rugby, because it's like one of the main sports.
I'll choose this one, but who do you think is the most inspirational world leader? But I've changed it to someone I think is inspirational, and I think it would be someone called Jeremy Stenbro, who's a freestyle motorcycle rider who suffers from Tourette's and the same as me, but he come from a lot of controversy in his life and grew up from a nothing, well, nobody, from drugs and stuff like that, and showed that with Tourette's he can do ride a motorbike and do very well, and I think that sets a bar for what motorsport should be, and yeah.
What do you most value about your culture and why? I think that we're really lucky and fortunate, like the world that we live in, because we've been given most things on a plate. We have more fortunate countries like us as well who have been given everything. So I think we're lucky in the sense that we've pretty much got everything.
I would like to live for the rest of my life in the Gambia, or in Africa in general, because it's a laid back life, lots of animals and gardens to keep walking past. It's great.
I'd like to live in Canada because in the summer they get lots of sun, and in the winter there's loads of snow, so I can go snowboarding. Lots.
I'd like to live in Indonesia. It's one of the places I've always loved, and I want to go and mess about with Komodo dragon, chase around a lot. Good fun.
What do you value most about
Didn't have a cheer
and why? I value... I like how our society is ethical.
What one thing would you choose to represent Cornwall and why?
It'd have to be the Cornish chap, because it's Cornish.
With the
And the
lively
pasty.
What do you value most about your culture?
Stones. Today, yes.
Where would you most like to travel to, and describe why?
Italy, because of great food and great books.
Where would you most like to live for the rest of your life and why?
France, because it has all the theme parks, all the romance and all of that stuff.
What do you value most about your culture and why?
I like the equality that... Stop it! I like the equality that women get. We're allowed to be as equal as men, and also I like the fact that people are too polite to say what they think all the time.
Where would you most like to travel to? Describe why.
I would like to go back to Ireland because my first visit there, I thoroughly enjoyed it, and they were really nice people. I was obviously very worried at first because of all the troubles out there, and I thought that perhaps I would have not been welcomed so well, but it wasn't a problem.
I would like to travel to British Columbia and Canada because I like the sort of forests. What one thing would you choose to represent Cornwall? Jumbo steak and barnacles, can't go wrong.
Right, Tim, where would you most likely to travel to and why?
I would like to travel mostly to South America, as I feel it is sort of one of the last untouched places on the planet. Coming back to basics, goodness.
Where would you most like to live the rest of your life?
Here.
Describe why.
Cornwall, because I'm from London, and down here it's really peaceful. And yeah, it's quiet, everything's close together, good countryside, good environment, good people.